Noor Mukadam was born on October 23, 1993, in Amman, Jordan, into a family defined by grace, privilege, and strong moral values. As the daughter of Shaukat Mukadam, a distinguished Pakistani diplomat, Noor's upbringing was rich with exposure to diverse cultures, traditions, and global perspectives. She was raised in an environment that emphasized compassion, education, and resilience, values that shaped her into the remarkable young woman she became. Noor's life was a shining example of kindness and grace, a testament to the promise and potential of a life lived with purpose and empathy. From a young age, Noor exhibited an insatiable curiosity and a zest for life that set her apart. Her educational journey was marked by excellence, as she demonstrated a keen intellect and a wide array of interests. Noor excelled in academics, and her creativity flourished in the arts. She was particularly drawn to literature and writing, often expressing herself through thoughtful poetry and introspective essays. Her artistic talents were another facet of her multidimensional personality, and she found joy in painting and creating, often drawing inspiration from the natural beauty and diverse cultures she encountered during her travels. Noor's love for animals was another defining aspect of her character. She had a compassionate heart that extended to all living beings, frequently caring for stray animals and championing their welfare. Her friends and family often recalled stories of her rescuing injured birds or adopting abandoned pets. To Noor, no act of kindness was too small, and her empathy for the voiceless reflected her deeply rooted sense of responsibility to the world around her. Despite her privileged background, Noor was remarkably grounded and approachable. She possessed a unique ability to connect with people from all walks of life, treating everyone with the same kindness and respect. Her friends described her as a bright, joyful presence, someone who could light up a room with her laughter and positivity. Noor was not only intelligent and charismatic, but also deeply introspective. She often reflected on life's complexities, seeking meaning and purpose in her actions and choices. Her creativity and introspection made her a cherished confidant, someone who offered unwavering support and genuine understanding to those around her. Noor's sense of justice and equality was evident in her actions and beliefs. She was a young woman who carried herself with dignity and grace, unafraid to speak her mind and stand up for what she believed in. She dreamt of making a difference in the world, whether through humanitarian efforts, advocacy, or simply spreading kindness in her everyday interactions. Her aspirations reflected a profound desire to contribute meaningfully to society, to leave a lasting impact that transcended material success. Her relationships were a testament to her warmth and authenticity. Noor was a devoted daughter, sibling, and friend, always prioritizing the needs of her loved ones. She had a remarkable ability to make people feel seen and valued, often going out of her way to offer support or encouragement. Her close friends admired her not only for her beauty and intelligence, but also for her genuine care and loyalty. To them, she was more than a companion. She was a source of inspiration and strength, someone who made their lives better simply by being a part of them. Noor's life was enriched by her global experiences, but her heart remained deeply connected to Pakistan. She cherished her cultural heritage and took pride in her identity, often drawing inspiration from the rich traditions and values of her homeland. Her love for her country was reflected in her desire to contribute to its betterment, to play a role in building a more equitable and compassionate society. In her 27 years, Noor Mukadam touched countless lives with her kindness, intelligence, and unwavering spirit. She was a beacon of hope and positivity, someone who embodied the best of humanity. Her life was a testament to the power of compassion and resilience, a reminder that even in a world filled with challenges, one person's light can make a profound difference. Noor's tragic and untimely death was a loss not only to her family and friends, but also to society as a whole. Her potential was boundless, her dreams unfulfilled, and her contributions to the world cut short far too soon. Yet her legacy lives on in the memories of those who loved her, in the lessons she taught through her actions, and in the ongoing fight for justice that her story inspired. Today, Noor Mukadam's name is synonymous with resilience, courage, and the fight against gender-based violence. Her story has become a rallying cry for change, a reminder of the urgent need to address the societal and systemic issues that enable such tragedies. While her life was tragically short, her impact continues to be felt, inspiring countless individuals to stand up for justice, compassion, and equality. Noor's memory is a reminder of the beauty of a life lived with purpose and empathy. She leaves behind a legacy of love, kindness, and hope, a light that continues to shine even in the face of darkness. As we remember Noor Mukadam, We honor her life by striving to create a world where every individual is valued, respected, and safe, a world where no one has to endure the suffering she faced. Noor's story is a call to action, urging us to be better, to do better, and to ensure that her light is never forgotten. On July 20th, 2021, the vibrant and promising life of Noor Mukadam was brutally cut short in a horrifying act of violence that shook Pakistan and the world. Noor, a 27-year-old woman full of dreams and aspirations, was murdered in Islamabad in a crime so heinous that it left an indelible mark on public consciousness. Her death not only exposed the depths of gender-based violence, but also highlighted the systemic flaws that often leave women vulnerable. The chain of events leading to Noor's murder began when she visited the home of Zahir Jaffer, a 27-year-old man she had known for some time. Zahir, the son of a wealthy and influential family, had invited Noor to his residence in the upscale neighborhood of Sector F74 in Islamabad. While they were acquaintances, their meeting that day turned into a nightmare. Zahir held Noor hostage in his home for 2 days, during which he subjected her to unimaginable torture and abuse. During her captivity, Noor was physically assaulted repeatedly. Zahir used a knuckle duster to inflict severe injuries on her, causing immense pain and suffering. She was also raped, a devastating act of violence that underscored his cruelty and disregard for her humanity. Noor, in a desperate attempt to save herself, tried to escape multiple times. She ran toward the gates of the house, hoping to find freedom and safety. But Zahir's household staff, acting under his orders, blocked her every attempt. The staff's complicity in restraining Noor and ignoring her cries for help was one of the most appalling aspects of the case. As her pleas went unanswered and her avenues of escape were sealed, Noor endured 2 days of terror. Zahir's actions were not impulsive. They were deliberate and premeditated. According to later confessions, he had resolved to kill Noor if she refused his marriage proposal. When Noor did not comply with his demands, Zahir carried out his gruesome plan. On the evening of July 20th, 2021, Zahir decapitated Noor using a knife, an act so brutal that it sent shockwaves through the country. The police arrived at the scene shortly after the murder was reported, discovering Noor's lifeless body in Zahir's home. Zahir was arrested on the spot, covered in blood and showing no signs of remorse. The crime scene painted a chilling picture of the violence Noor had endured, and the details that emerged during the investigation only deepened the public outrage. The investigation revealed the extent of Zahir's premeditation and the complicity of his family and staff. His parents were aware of what had happened and chose to protect their son instead of seeking justice for Noor. They attempted to cover up the crime, instructing the household staff to prevent Noor from leaving the premises. This active participation in enabling Zahir's actions highlighted the toxic entitlement and privilege that often shield perpetrators of such crimes. The public reaction to Noor Mukadam's murder was immediate and widespread. Protests erupted across Pakistan, with people demanding justice for Noor and calling for systemic reforms to protect women. The hashtags Wash Justice for Noor and Dashash Say Her Name trended on social media, amplifying the outrage and sparking conversations about gender-based violence. Noor's case became a symbol of the pervasive threats women face and the urgent need for societal change. The legal proceedings that followed were closely watched, as Noor's case was not just about seeking justice for her, but also about challenging a system that often fails victims of violence. In February 2022, an Islamabad Sessions Court found Zahir Jaffer guilty of Noor's murder and sentenced him to death. 2 members of his household staff, Iftikhar and Muhammad Jan, were sentenced to 10 years in prison for their roles in aiding and abetting the crime. However, Zahir's parents were acquitted of their charges, a decision that sparked further debate about accountability and privilege. Noor Mukadam's murder was a tragedy of unimaginable proportions, a life full of promise extinguished in an act of senseless violence. Her death highlighted the pervasive misogyny, entitlement, and systemic failures that perpetuate gender-based violence in Pakistan and beyond. Noor's story resonated with women who saw in her tragedy a reflection of the dangers they face every day, regardless of their background or status. While justice was served to some extent, Noor's loss remains an irreplaceable tragedy. Her story continues to inspire calls for change, reminding society of the need to protect women. The tragic murder of Noor Mukadam not only sent shockwaves across Pakistan, but also ignited a collective response from citizens, activists, and the global community. Noor's death became a rallying cry for justice, gender equality, and accountability, with people from all walks of life coming together to demand systemic changes. The aftermath of this horrific incident highlighted both the failures of societal and legal structures and the immense power of a united outcry. Immediately following the news of Noor's murder, social media platforms erupted with outrage. The hashtags #CureJusticeForNoor and Tasher Say Her Name trended for weeks, ensuring that her case remained in the public eye. People shared their anger, grief, and solidarity, urging authorities to take swift and decisive action. The online movement transcended borders, with individuals from around the world standing in support of Noor and condemning the pervasive violence faced by women globally. In cities like Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi, people gathered to light candles, share stories, and demand accountability not only for Noor, but for all victims of gender-based violence. These gatherings were a testament to the strength of collective action and the public's refusal to let Noor's case be forgotten, and an overhaul of societal attitudes that enable such crimes. Noor's case became a catalyst for broader conversations about the safety of women in Pakistan, with calls for action against domestic violence, harassment, and abuse. Groups like Aurat March and other feminist organizations demanded systemic reforms to address the root causes of violence against women. The trial of Zahir Jaffer and his accomplices became a litmus test for the justice system, which had often failed victims of similar crimes. Public pressure ensured that Noor's case did not get buried under the weight of bureaucracy or privilege. The verdict, which sentenced Zahir to death and his staff to imprisonment, was seen as a significant victory. The role of Zahir's parents and household staff in enabling his actions highlighted the complicit behavior that often goes unnoticed or unpunished. This aspect of the case fueled discussions about the need for accountability at all levels, from individuals to institutions. Educational campaigns, awareness programs, and public discourse sought to challenge the norms and attitudes that perpetuate gender inequality. Many called for the inclusion of gender-based violence awareness in school curriculums, hoping to create a generation that values respect and equality. Noor's legacy also inspired individuals to take personal actions to ensure the safety of women in their communities. People began to discuss the importance of supporting victims, intervening in situations of abuse, and creating safe spaces where women can thrive without fear. Men in particular were urged to reflect on their roles in dismantling patriarchal structures and being allies in the fight against Noor's death must not be in vain. It must serve as a turning point in the ongoing battle against gender-based violence. As we remember Noor Mukadam, we honor her life by continuing the fight for justice and equality. Her story reminds us of the importance of standing together, amplifying the voices of the silenced, and working towards a world where no one has to live in fear. Noor's legacy is a call to action for every individual to challenge injustice, support victims, and create a society where light triumphs over darkness.